Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Chef Vic Cuisine. Today, we're making one of my signature dishes, Vic's Burger. Now this has some great textures and flavors all wrapped into one amazing sandwich. And a bonus for this video is my recipe for my special burger sauce too. So, let's get started. Alright, so for the ingredients, we're going to start off with the beef patty, and we're going to use 2 pounds of ground beef, and you want to get around 70% lean, 30% fat. That's really important to get a nice juicy burger. And then we're going to need 1 egg, 3 tablespoons of carnation milk, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 3 dashes of salt, 3 dashes of black pepper, 2 cloves of garlic, freshly minced, and next up we have the caramelized onions, and for those we'll need 2 cups worth, or 1 large yellow onion that we're going to slice from root to tip, and we need 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, about 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil, 4 teaspoons of salt, 4 teaspoons of granulated white sugar, and 4 teaspoons of balsamic vinegar. Now onto the toppings. So this recipe will make enough for 8 burgers, and so for that, we're going to need about 16 tablespoons of brie cheese that we're going to divide into 8ths. And you're also going to need 4 avocado, halved and sliced. Then you're going to need 8 eggs that we're going to fry. And also, in a few seconds, I'm going to show you my special burger sauce recipe. And finally, 8 onion buns. Now on to my special burger sauce. For this, all you'll need is 1/2 cup of Miracle Whip, 1/4 cup of ketchup, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And of course, a container to put the sauce in. So we're going to start off by making the special burger sauce first. It's really easy and it whips up pretty quickly. So all you need to do is whisk in the Miracle Whip, the ketchup, the garlic powder, the black pepper, and the salt all into a large bowl. And you want to whisk those together until they're well combined. And once that's done, all you need to do is transfer the combined sauce into a condiment bottle like I'm showing, or your own little storage container. And you want to refrigerate that for future use. And this recipe makes definitely enough for 8 burgers, and you might have some left over as well. But I really love the flavor in this sauce, and I think it elevates any sandwich it's put on. And for a different take on this sauce, we can always substitute the Miracle Whip with some Dijon mustard. Oh, and on this video, don't forget to cook that like button, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified when my next video drops. And stay tuned to the end of this video for a sneak peek of the recipe coming next week. So now back to the burgers. What we want to do first is prepare all the ingredients for the beef patties. So here I'm using the blunt side of a knife to crush the garlic and remove the outer peel. And then once all the peels are removed, I want to go ahead and finely mince each garlic clove, and then we can just set those aside for now. Now to the ground beef, we want to add that 1 egg, and following that we want to add the carnation milk and the Worcestershire sauce. These ingredients act as a binding agent as well as infusing some flavor into the beef. Next we want to add our seasonings, so we want to add that dash of cayenne pepper as well as a thin sprinkling of salt and black pepper to the ground beef as well, just to make sure that the beef is evenly tasty. Finally, we can add the minced garlic to the beef. And I normally use powder-free nitrile gloves for this process, but you can do it with clean hands as well. But you want to mix all of these ingredients together by hand until the patty mixture is formed. And we're aiming for all the ingredients to be well combined and distributed. So you just want to take your time while you mince all the ingredients together, making sure that the sauces and the seasonings all get a chance to thoroughly coat the ground beef. And so once the ingredients are all well combined, we can now start to form the 8 hamburger patties. And for this process, I normally just take about a handful of the meat and form it into roughly a 4-inch diameter patty that's about 1/2 inch to 1 inch thick. And I normally eyeball this process, but about a handful is 1/8 of the mixture, so you're going to end up with having 8 beef patties. But your goal is to aim to have each of the patties be roughly the same size. That way you get an even cook on all the burgers. So now that all of the patties have been formed, we're ready to go and grill the burgers. So on your grill gate, or whatever surface you're cooking the burgers on, you want to spray it with some non-stick spray or oil of your choice. And in this video, I'm cooking my burgers to about well done. So in order to do that, we need to cook the patties for about 5 to 7 minutes per side at 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius, and that's at about medium-high heat. So to begin, I don't like flipping the burgers too often, so I always allow one side to cook for about 5 minutes before deciding to flip the patty. You also want to apply some light pressure onto the tops of the patties to spread the meat somewhat, just so you get an even cook throughout the thickness of the patty. And because we're using 70% lean meat, you're going to have a lot of fat rendering throughout the cooking process, but that's all that good juice and flavor that you want inside the burger. It's definitely what makes this burger taste so great. So after the first 5 minutes, you can go ahead and flip each patty onto the other side and allow that to cook for an additional 5 minutes as well. And it would be at this stage where you could start to see some nice caramelization on the bottom edge of the patty, and that's what we're aiming for. So after another 5 minutes on cooking on the other side of the patties, we can go ahead and flip them back to the top side just to see how well our burgers have cooked through. So at this point, we don't have enough caramelization on the top surface of the patties for you to remove them from the grill. So you can go ahead and cook them for an additional 2 minutes on both sides, which is what I did in this video. And it's at this point where you don't have to worry about not flipping them so much. I tend to flip the patties about every 30 seconds or so, just to make sure that I'm getting a nice browning and caramelization on the outer surface of the burger. And also remember that your grill doesn't necessarily heat evenly throughout the entire surface of it, so some patties may take longer to cook than others. But once we're satisfied with the cook of all the patties, you can go ahead and remove them from the hot surface and place them on a paper towel lined container. And for a close-up of the patties, here you can see that we achieved that nice browning on the surface of each patty, and that's the goal of how you want your burgers to look. And let's break into one just to show you the inner texture of the burger. So as you can see, the burger is cooked through, yet it is super juicy and tender at the same time. And each bite is flowing with so much flavor, from the garlic flakes to all the seasonings you put into the beef. Each bite is going to be delicious. And the toppings you're going to add to this dish will make it even better. So now on to preparing the toppings for the burger. We're going to start off by making the caramelized onions. And this is a really easy process. They basically make themselves. So all we have to do is remove the outer peel of the yellow onion. And what you want to do is cut slices from the yellow onion from the root to the tip of the onion. You just want to make sure you do that for the entirety of the onion. And one yellow onion will produce enough caramelized onions for about 8 burgers. And I normally slice the yellow onions to about 1 inch or less thickness, but you can always change that according to your own desired thickness for the onions. And once you have the onion slices to your desired thicknesses, make sure that you separate the layers of the onions so that each slice can stand on its own. Now, in a deep dish frying pan, you want to heat the olive oil on medium-high heat, or about 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius. And you also want to add the unsalted butter to the pot as well. And so as the butter begins to melt in the olive oil, we want to go ahead and add all of the chopped onions to the pot as well. And our first goal is to saute the onions until they're softened, and we want to stir this occasionally. And this should take about 10 minutes. And so after the 10 minutes and the onions look nice and soft, we can go ahead and add the salt and the sugar to the pot and stir this all in until it's dissolved. And it's at this stage where we want to turn the heat to low, or about 225 degrees Fahrenheit or 170 degrees Celsius. We want to cook the onions for an additional 30 minutes. And with the help of some TV magic, I can fast forward those 30 minutes. And now towards the end of the 30 minutes, so for me in this video, it was about the 27-minute mark, I added the balsamic vinegar to the pan. You just want to mix that vinegar well into the onions. And after the 30 minutes are up, we can go ahead and remove the pot from the heat and set it aside for now. But just to show you the caramelized onions, once you drain them from all of the ingredients, look how beautiful they are. And I mean, they're perfectly caramelized. They're sweet, salty, savory, and full of flavor. So now the next step, we're going to fry the egg that we're going to place on the sandwich. And this is a really easy process. All you want to do is lightly drizzle some olive oil onto a small frying pan and make sure that the oil is evenly coating the cooking surface of the pan. And then all you have to do is add your 1 egg into the pan, and you want to lightly season it with some salt and black pepper. And go ahead and allow the bottom side of the egg to cook through. I normally like to break the yolk, but feel free to choose how you want to cook your own egg. That's really up to you. And once the bottom surface is cooked through, I flip the egg and make sure the top has an even cook as well. And then once the egg is cooked through on both sides, you can go ahead and remove it from the pan and place it on a paper towel lined plate as well. And then you just repeat this process for the other 7 burgers. And like I said before, you can cook the egg to how you'd want it, but in order to make Vic's burger, a fried over hard egg is part of the toppings. Let me know down in the comments where you've had a fried egg before on a sandwich. What was your favorite type of cook on that egg? I'm curious to see where you all are leaning towards. Now on to one of the final ingredients. All you have to do for the avocado is slice it lengthwise in half and then remove the outer peel as well as the pit, and then thinly slice the avocado, and you're going to use about half of an avocado's worth per sandwich. Now on to my favorite part of the recipe, preparing the burger. All you need to do is spread the special sauce we made in the beginning on the insides of each of the onion bun slices. Then you want to take about 2 tablespoons worth of brie cheese and place that onto one of the sides of the bun. And to make the cheese more easily spread, I definitely keep the brie cheese out of the fridge and allow it to reach room temperature. That way it sort of melts and becomes more of a spread than a cheese. You want to follow this up by adding a 1/4 cup worth of caramelized onions. You just want to make sure that you drain them of any excess oil or vinegar. Next, we want to add the half of an avocado's worth on top of the onions. Then we can crown that with one of the fried eggs. And last, but certainly not least, we want to top it with the burger patty. Now you can close the sandwich with the other end of the bun, and we want to fix this all together using a toothpick. And just like that, you've made one of my signature dishes, Vic's Burger. Give yourselves a round of applause for this one. Go on, I'll wait. This is hands down one of my favorite sandwiches to eat. All of the work that goes into making this is definitely worth it. I really hope you guys enjoy this recipe and it becomes a staple in your own kitchen as well. And because this recipe makes so many burgers, if you don't have a large group to entertain, you can always freeze the burger meat once you form the patties. And those can last in the freezer for about 6 months if they're well wrapped and airtight. But if you've been following my channel for a while now, you know that I'm a big fan of layering flavors and textures together. And I really think that this burger pulls it off beautifully. As always, this recipe and many more can be found in my cookbook, Chef Vic Cuisine Volume 1, Finding Your Inner Chef. And that's available on Amazon, and I'll be sure to leave a link to that in the description box. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified when my next video drops. And stay tuned for the next recipe where I show you how to make my super snickerdoodle cookies. It's a really cool take on the traditional cookie that you're used to. Well, thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next week on another episode of Chef Vic Cuisine. And until then, peace.